the University of Montreal is developing their campus on they call it the Cour de Triage. It's the rail yards that are located on the Outremont side, just south of the boundaries of Parc Ex. It is an area that was no man's land, and it's being decontaminated right now to make way for a new district to be developed with the university campus, with housing, green space, and it's going to be a wonderful new district. Since 2005, 2006, they've had public consultation, they've had presentations, two of which were held in Parc-Extension. And since then, the project has evolved. It changes, it transforms. New elements can be brought in. Because of the public consultation, they also listen to what people say and take everything into consideration and try, like puzzles, to put the whole picture together and see how they can implement it. In the meantime, the university has had to also find all the necessary financing to put this project together. And until the zoning changes take place, until they decide how and where they're going to put the different puzzles together, time can pass as well. So we're in 2011. 5 years, 6 years later, nothing has started to build. I know some community groups are demanding certain needs to be met, but it will take time to implement everything. We're not there yet.
Right. Has the community been consulted throughout this? I mean, just the residents throughout Parc Ex?
You can't really say the residents all throughout Parc Ex. There were public flyers were put at all the doors. Those who were interested, and there were very few at the time, attended. Community groups participated. They developed memoirs. They vocalized their needs, their concerns. They deposited memoirs. And then when the project was at a certain stage this past year, where they held an additional public consultation, it was it was basically to make a presentation to inform the citizens where the project had come to. They still listened to the citizens' concerns, but over the last 5-6 years, we've also had new residents come into Parc Ex who are more involved in community work and more participating into day-to-day needs and with democracy. And so they said that they were not consulted, but they came into the district in the last year or 2 years. Public consultation has taken place. We can't move it back. Things will evolve. They will go forward. They have said that they will have certain meetings to inform citizens, to update them on what decisions have been taken, how we will modify, how we will evolve. And at the time that this was brought up, which was sometime in February, March, the period of time that they said they were going to invite people back to a meeting would have been the end of April or the end of May. But it's not that we have ignored them, it's just that the project hasn't evolved as fast. And so we haven't called a meeting yet.
And what are some of the concerns that have been raised by residents and people in the community?
Housing. They want to make sure that the housing situation will not somehow ricochet and increase rents in Parc Ex because of a higher demand by students. We can't control that. I am a private homeowner in Parc-Extension. I own a triplex. I rent my 2 upper floors. I live on the first floor in the basement. My tenants have been there one of them for 5 years, the other one for 2 years. No one's going to knock on my door asking to rent my apartments if I don't have a for rent sign. As long as my tenants stay there, I raise my rents according to the norm, according to what is determined by the rental board. So I'm trying to understand and apply what the community groups are saying to my situation. So unless my people move out, I can't raise my rent more than 1.2 or 2% unless I make major renovations. And even so, afterwards, if one of them decides to move out and I need to rent it, according to my situation, according to what the rental board sets out, I will raise my rent accordingly. So I'm trying to understand how real the concerns are and how it will apply. I can't put them out for no reason. So I can't make a vacancy and try to increase the rent with the new, my new tenants.
And you're mentioning that some of the residents may fear the development because, is it because of gentrification that maybe the UDM, when they move in, that all these other new shops that start might be, you know, like Starbucks, McDonald's, they might start moving into the community, and shops that are, you know, Greek shops, Armenian or Turkish shops might end up closing down?
Not necessarily. When Loblaws developed right here in '98, there was an outcry from some community groups that it will close the little mom and pop shops. All you have to do is just look around you and see how they flourished. And still, Loblaws is there doing their business with 33,000 people living in a very tightly knit society. Believe me, everybody has to eat, everybody needs certain services, and there's room for everyone. Now, this will be on the other side of the train tracks. A new area between Van Horn and the train tracks will be developed, and there will be a need for such small shops to be able to give local services to the population there. And I'm sure there'll be opportunities for people from Parc Ex who want to develop or go and work there.
And because Parc Ex is so multicultural, do you see it being more of a microcosm? Like, that's why so many people are focused on Parc Ex, because they say if something changes there, maybe the city's changing?
You know, I don't think it's going to change our dynamics. I think it will enhance. It will open up the diversity to other communities. And right now we're seeing a lot of communities, not a lot of communities, but a lot of different cultures moving into Parc Ex. And there's a lot of French Canadians as well. And they have discovered that in their neighborhood, you're living in the United Nations. There are all kinds of community groups, all kinds of restaurants, the diversity, the churches, the different stores, the different flavors, and they love it.
And UDM is a university. It's not some big condo developer, at least
No.
not that I'm sure of. And I mean, how will this have an economic benefit to the community?
Well, having a university right at your footsteps, at your doorsteps, is an encouragement to our youth to attend university, French university. The libraries there will be available to us for use. Although we have a library here in Parc Ex, it has its limitations. They will be able to go there and study and do their research. And I think that's wonderful. A lot of our apartments are small apartments, and most of our families in Parc Ex have 4, 5, some 6 children, and it's very difficult for them to study at home. And so this will be a welcome institution. Already, the University of Montreal has developed a campus on Park Avenue, at 7035 Park Avenue. It is 2 floors of physiotherapy. It's a campus for physiotherapy. And the students that attend there easily go across the street to the CLSC that we have, and they can give certain services. And with the development project that we have for a residence for résidence intermédiaire, intermediate residence for seniors who have mobility problems and so on, it'll be an easy access for the students also to go and do their stages over there and help in giving physiotherapy to the patients there, to the residents. So everybody has a win-win situation.